How you doing, guys? So this is Steve with Keller Williams, and I'm back with another small business spotlight here in Riverdale. And this week I decided to do something a little bit different, and I am focused on a local artist. So I'm sitting here today with Annete Back. How you doing today, Annette?
I'm pretty good. Very excited about this interview. Thank you. How are you?
My pleasure. I'm actually excited to be here too. You know, a lot of the interviews that I do are with brick and mortar, sort of like restaurants, bars, and I wanted to do something a little different and let people know that there are other types of businesses here in Riverdale. So tell me, what kind of artwork do you do?
I paint. I paint in oils or acrylics, and that's what I do.
So you're painting in, are you painting abstract? Are you painting images of stuff that you see out in the street, or where do you, like, what is it that you paint?
I do paint what we would call figurative abstracts. So they're not realistic artworks, but they still show some sort of recognizable figure, like a face or a figure, or a movement, or landscape. I'm mostly focusing on figures.
Okay, and how do you get your inspiration?
My inspiration comes from everywhere I look at. I might look in a magazine, I might look at a video, I might see a transition in a video that inspires me. Sometimes when I go for a bike ride, I just see something in my head and I make that one happen. A lot of words inspire me. Poems inspire me. Situations inspire me. Sometimes I just need to say something that is current events, things that bother me, the U2 movement, the George Floyd movement. These are things that I need to express as an artist.
Interesting. So what you're saying is that when you're out in your daily life, you see something that inspires you, and you just feel like your best way to communicate that is to put it on canvas.
Definitely. I'm not a wordy person. I'm not that good with words, but visually things just flow through me and they want to be said.
It's funny because that's a very it's a different way of doing it. Like for me, like words are important. As you can see, I'm doing interviews, so like I like to express myself in different ways, and I think that's the beauty of art, right? Like you know, you could express yourself in so many different ways. So how do you define art?
I define art in a way that a piece of artwork, could be paintings or even a poem or movies, a film, documentaries, that make the viewer move. They move an emotion, they move a message to the person that is viewing them, and hopefully is also visually exciting and nice to look at.
So emotion.
Yes, emotion. Concept and emotion are very important. That's why we make art.
You know, speaking of emotion, I'm looking at this piece right here, and it's just screaming at me. So can you tell me a little bit about this piece right here?
This piece is called Keep Breathing, and was inspired by the passing of the murder, I should say, of George Floyd and the aftermath of the Black Lives Matter movement. I did not grow up in the States. I'm actually from Germany. I'm Jewish from Germany. That's a different story altogether. But I was not aware of something that is called systemic racism. I had to educate myself when all of this happened last year and continues to happen, which is outrageous. I took images from that time. I put them behind in the background around the face. And I also took words that I kept hearing around this event and this movement. And I wanted it to scream. I wanted this to come out and radiate from her. And I'm hoping that she's upset, obviously, but she's also hopefully looking into the future with timid hope that this is going to finally dissipate.
It's beautiful because you took something that was so tragic, and you expressed the tragedy by having images from the actual incident, and then you try to give it hope. And it's almost like you're telling everybody that, like, there's hope out there, like, you know, in all the tragedy you could find hope. Does that make sense?
Definitely. I want there to be hope. I need there to be hope. I am, second generation Holocaust survivor, and this shit doesn't fly anymore. I mean, like, we should all love each other. We should help each other. There shouldn't be a difference, no matter what religion or what color, what sexual orientation, it's just so passé at this point. Let's just get on and accept each other for what we do and what we are.
I agree 100%. So kind of switching gears a little bit, like how did you know that how did you know you were an artist? Like how did you get started, and how did you kind of feel that this was going to be your passion and make a career out of it?
So I always had artistic tendencies, you know, you make drawings as a kid, all of that is true, but it wasn't something that was, you know, put forth as a profession. And when I graduated high school, even though I had this tendency, I couldn't figure out, I didn't know what to do as a profession because I do have to earn a living. And graphic design popped up. So I did apply to the School of Visual Arts, and that was a really great education for me. It did channel me into graphic design and print design, web design, and all of that comes with it. And I had a great career, and I also have my own design studio. Design practice, I serve my clients even now here in Riverdale. I do serve as marketing and website design and things like that. So I was doing that for a very long while. And then about 6-7 years ago, I was a little bit down. And one of my friends took me to one of those paint nights. And I remembered that I used to love to paint. It's another way of being creative, but it's a very personal way of being creative where you don't have a client telling you, do this, do that. You know, this is purely my expression, my voice, and no one's telling me how to proceed. And that's kind of very new. Now it's like 5 years now, and I really very much enjoy that part of being an artist as well, as you can see.
Gotcha. So you were doing graphic design.
Yes.
And then you realized that while you were doing that, you can actually do something that actually serves your passion, and
Yes.
this kind of business just sprouted out of that.
That's correct. At first I was painting as just for me, and I started taking reminder classes. I didn't need that much reminding, but I did need to find my voice and my style of painting, where in the first few years I was painting off photographs, realistically, flowers, landscapes, trees and things like that, photos of my family. That was great fun, but I kept seeing like artists that say something, and I wanted to find my own style of painting, and I did find that with one of my first paintings that is upstairs. And I fell in love with that way of painting, and then I translated it to more and more paintings, and these are the results of that kind of work now.
Well, I gotta say, I mean, you've done an amazing job with these paintings. I mean, it's amazing to me to see, because like this is your personality, right? Like you take something and you put it on canvas, and it speaks to who you are. Even just listening to you talk right now, it's you can see your artwork is a reflection of who you are as a person. So speaking of inspiration, or you know, I guess better yet, what kind of art do you want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered that I had something to say, that I had an impact on, you know, society. I mean, obviously not like a Picasso. I'll never be. I don't have enough years of work behind me to be a Picasso. But, you know, maybe a piece that will stand out to people for eternity, for the next 100 years, maybe. That would be really great.
So you want to be remembered as somebody who inspired?
Yes, that would be nice.
What kind of inspiration do you want to give to people?
Just giving people a voice. I mean, it's maybe a little bit more autobiographical. It seemed to be drawn to be painting women that want to say something, women that have something to say, women that feel to situations like that. It seems to be that's something that keeps inspiring me to make art. Okay.
So, and if somebody wanted to purchase one of your pieces, how do they find you? How do they find you online?
I have a website, www.AnnetteBackFineArt.com. I also have an Instagram, which is Annete Back Fine Art. And I have a Facebook group, which I all invite you to join, please do. It's Annete Back Fine Art Studio on Facebook. That is membership based, and I invite you to join me there.
Good, good. Well, I'm going to be sure to put all those links in the bottom of this video. And you know, I really thank you for your time. And hopefully we can get you some exposure and get some people to come in here and start.
Oh, I wanted to say that I'm happy to do tours of the studio so you can see all my art, as well as if you're still timid about coming into the studio, I can bring them into the backyard, or we can arrange a virtual tour.
Okay, all right, well that makes sense. I mean, you're giving people a lot of options. I think the key here is just I'm going to try to get you as much exposure as possible and put this out there on all the social media channels, and hopefully we can get you some pieces sold and get your voice out there.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
You're very welcome. So, so guys, you heard it here first. Annete Back, Fine Art Studio. You know, follow her. I mean, these pieces are really inspirational, and it's kind of nice to see that there's other businesses in Riverdale and other people that are out there that are trying to make a living and trying to get their voices out there. So, you'll have all the links down below. Take care, guys.